A little trip update. I'm at my parents in Tucson. I gotta be really quiet because everybody's sleeping and it's Sunday and they've all got, like lives and things, which is good. Um, but I'm kind of building my new one. Colorado was amazing. I'm stitching together video, like a long form video. It's my first ever real video that I'm actually like using editing software to clip together and try to make it good so that there's not like a bunch of fucking lulls and pauses and boring shit, kind of like what I'm doing right now. And I have the time to do that at this point because, as you all know, I quit my job and I've spent the last week traveling across the country essentially. I was in Colorado with some friends who are also kind of part of this. They are not kind of, they are part of this movement and very, spiritually involved. And they've just met some people there in Colorado, which, shocker, if anyone's been to Colorado, people there are very, very open minded and spiritual, and the synchronicities go off the charts in places like that. Really incredible experience and beautiful natural setting. Anyway, so they are getting more and more connected with people there and building a movement, sort of their own movement there. And I got to experience some of that. I got a limpia from a wonderful woman named Stacy in a bookshop called the Downtown Armory in Greeley, Colorado. She's amazing. You should all go there. She was only charging $30 for her limpias, and I told her you should charge 75. I mean, she gave like a full hour-long thing, and I'm somebody who's done a lot of these high-dose psychedelics ceremonies and solo journeys, and I've been meditating for a long time. I've been doing energy work. Like, I'm into this stuff. And dude, she gave such a good, like, cleansing, beautiful moment. Yeah, yeah. So Stacy, Lasara Spirit, in Downtown Armory, Greeley, Colorado. And my friends that I went to go and visit are Jose and Ale Vasquez. They live in Loveland. If anybody wants to reach out, if you're in Colorado, I'll get you guys connected. But yeah, this is how it happens, man. So as I'm traveling, I leave Jose and Ale's place, which they very graciously offered to me and let me sleep on an airbed in their living room. And I might add, I was kind of, going through a little bit of a moment myself, right? Like I was emotional, dude. Like I just quit my job, like sold everything. I'm basically going to be living out of a car. I've never even really been camping before, and we'll get into that too. But I fucking am like laying there, like I'm just going through a lot of shit. But they're also trying to kind of like get their lives going. And as soon as I get there, it's like the universe is kind of like nudging me out the door because they started to get work like flowing in. Jose owned a business in Nebraska, and Ale also owned a business. She was a personal trainer. So if anybody in Colorado is looking to, have some serious body transformation, she can help you with that. And if anybody else needs some, I don't know, some drywall, some paint, something like that, Jose can help you. But he's also very, very just a good human being, and he can help with a lot of other things too. Anyway, so yeah, they were extremely gracious, but it was time for me to go because I was just, I wasn't helping anybody by being there, and myself included. I was just whiny. I was just a whiny, I was scared. I was scared and I was just kind of whiny, and it's a necessary thing. You got to go through that. I process my emotions that way. Like I'm the guy who I will like cry and I'll be pissed off and I don't say cruel things, and I'm never mean, and I'm not like, you know, I will, well, that's not true at all. That's completely not true. I don't try to hurt people's feelings, but I do absolutely process my anger, and I will say really vicious, awful shit to try and get through it. And I don't really know if that's proper or correct, but it works for me because I kind of integrate the shadow aspects by doing that. Like, I'm thinking it, I'm thinking these vicious, terrible things. And yes, saying them out loud is a little bit, even when I talk about this, I'm like, is that right? Like, I don't actually know. I just, I know how I feel, okay? And when I do process it, I feel better after. It's like I really let go of it, you know? But if I don't and I push it down, it comes out in these other kinds of ways. Like I'm like kind of cutting or diminishing to some, like, you know what I mean? And I just think it's more efficient if I, you know, maybe not directly to the person, but just like talk a bunch of shit. And then just, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like I don't need to, you know, I don't need to have the thing. And it's not like talk a bunch of shit like I'm trying to sabotage somebody or I'm gossiping or anything like that. It's just literally like I'm speaking the truth about the things they've done that have pissed me the fuck off. I'm being honest, you know, and I'm taking my side, which for me has always kind of been really difficult. It's been hard to take my own side. I've always been really like, you know, everybody else has to be happy and not really worried about my own happiness without realizing that it's impossible to even to give somebody something you don't have yourself, you know. Anyway, I digress. It was, suffice to say, a very eye-opening, informative, educational journey. I got some tough love from Ale, which is a good thing, okay? We all need that in this movement. We all need to correct each other, all right? Because I'm not some fucking infallible fucking, you know, like motherfucker just because I've done a bunch of mushrooms, all right? Like just because I fucking meditated a whole bunch. Like anybody can do that, okay? And I'm just a human being being a human being, trying to say like, hey, like you know, I think this might work. Maybe this will work. And if I'm saying something that's fucking stupid or I'm doing something that's stupid, I gotta accept correction and you gotta give it, okay? And vice versa. I gotta give it correction when I can see something that's fucked up in here and you've gotta, you know, receive it, right? Like if we wanna really do this the right way, like we have to kind of become so self-aware and so egoless, so unconcerned with looking good, looking too smart, looking like we're perfect. And we have to just focus on doing better, actually doing better, which requires a deep level of honesty about one's own flaws, one's own shortcomings. And when you do that, when you bring conscious awareness to the kinds of things that are normally unconscious. Carl Jung calls it shadow work, you know, the things of our nature that we try to repress because they aren't really popular or they don't endear us to other people or ourselves, parts of ourselves that we even reject. When you kind of bring conscious awareness to those patterns, then you heal the negative shadow aspects of it because you find out that at the root cause of it, it's actually just it is always a desire for love, like safety, you know what I mean? It's a pattern or a process that developed as a defense mechanism to try to protect you. And when you kind of feel this safety and really divine love that you get through spiritual practice, it allows you to set aside your individual personal consciousness and start to understand that actually, no, you can connect to this infinite beyond thing. And it can be so beautiful and it's so far beyond all the petty problems that you're focusing on that you can actually consciously transform yourself. And it's not about meeting some arbitrary set of rules or requirements. It's about feeling better. And we're all connected, bro. So kindness is how you feel better. Because if you're good to others, that creates a ripple effect, which goes out whether they're kind to others or maybe you forgive someone when they've done something horrible and unforgivable. And you just forgive them. And they're like, what the fuck? You know, I'm reminded of that video I saw where there was a serial killer who'd killed like a bunch of people, and the father of one of the victims comes into the courtroom and he goes, after all these people had basically just been shitting on this guy, which fair enough, I would have probably been one of those people who would have been so angry that I would have been viciously shitting on this dude. But this father comes in and he takes the stand and he goes, sir, a lot of the people here today hate you. I do not hate you. He goes, it's times like this that our faith is really tested, when we have to choose whether we are upholding the principles set forth or whether we're doing like whatever everybody else is doing. And basically the dude's like, he basically says to this serial killer who killed his child, God told me to forgive you. And the serial killer breaks down in tears in the courtroom. And the whole time this dude's been like stone-faced because all these people are screaming at him, saying all this terrible shit, which I get, again, I get that. But this one father comes up and he's like, I forgive you. And the dude fucking just melts and evaporates. All right, that's what it's about. It's about healing these kinds of patterns and not associating them with individuals, understanding that individuals are just collections of patterns. It's just consciousness appearing in forms, okay? And if you separate the patterns from the individuals, it becomes much simpler for us to try to reorganize society, restructure society in a more efficient way, okay? And coherence is efficiency, right? The current system isn't necessarily efficient. Like, it's profitable. It's extractive, but that's a topic for another video. There's some people moving in actually down here, and I don't want to scare anybody because this is my parents' apartment. So I'm gonna stop, but I love you guys so much, and there will be more to come. Mwah.